The risk of developing lung disease was higher in kids who were jabbed, whether or not they were infected with COVIDs afterward. Well, point blank, there's a lot of evidence, like we were talking about earlier, that these things cause clots and turbocancers. The images of the clots that were coming out were insane. It was like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the news refused to report any of it. I remember the news reported a couple of incidents, and then again it was like a light switch. Doop. Don't report any of that. I think one of the things that need to be done, if we can get all of this into courts, is the reporters who shut all of that down, who didn't report on it. And I'm sorry, we're going to go by the freaking Nuremberg I was just doing my job rule. You were just doing your job. You were just playing your part in the attempted genocide of your own people. They all need to be tried. All of those reporters need to be tried as accessories for covering up one of the most heinous crimes in the world. And while we're doing this, I'm going to take advantage and teach a moment of history here. There are people who claim that even the journalists were hanged at Nuremberg. This is from the records at Nuremberg. There are no records at all of any journalist ever being hanged at Nuremberg. There was one minor newspaper owner. He was the owner of a newspaper who was hanged, but he was the Nazi Party representative in that town, and that is what he was hanged for. No actual journalists were ever hanged at Nuremberg. These journalists, however, should be hanged. They absolutely should be hanged because they participated in gaslighting people during what very much looks like an attempted genocide.
See, I could not, in good conscience, get paid as much as these guys are paid to lie to people so they die.
Yes.
I couldn't do it.
That's
I
what,
like fucking them out. Not doing
that's why I want to go all the way to the rope and not just give them a couple of years for conspiracy.
Yeah, I got you.
That's why I want to go all the way to the rope, because it's what a heinous thing to do. It's almost as heinous as forgetting to click bring into the studio when the monkey shows up.
Just got here.
Hey, man.
It's all good, bro. I don't know, man. All I can say is we need to do something to the mainstream media and all of the actors who were either complacent or willingly gaslit the entire population of the world.
Yep.
I mean, typically, when I think of like a reporter, it's somebody who like shows up, tells you the facts, they have the camera, they show you the scene behind them, they tell you what happened, and then you can formulate your own opinion.
Right.
But when they're up in front of you lying and telling you that their opinion is truth, that's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It's a massive problem. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, there's a difference between a journalist and the media. There's a difference between a reporter and these talking heads on these shows. And there are no real journalists or reporters left now, except at a local level where the guy shows up and reports on a car crash. And there's no real reason to spin that or anything. But even the reporters today now, like there was a huge fight in the airport in Atlanta.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Try to find a reporter who mentions the fact that everybody involved was black.
Yep. Nobody actually got hurt either. It's just a brawl.
It was just a brawl.
Yeah.
It's just a brawl. That's fine. But they conspicuously stayed away from that. They conspicuously stayed away from it. There was a news clip, though, that I want to mention this just because this is funny. Did you see the guy where they tried to steal his shoes?
No.
In like a cell phone store or something. Two guys sneak up on another guy, and one of the guys grabs his leg and goes to pull his shoes off. He's apparently wearing some expensive shoes or something. And the guy that gets attacked is packing. and he smokes the accomplice standing behind the guy attacking him first, which tells me that this guy had some kind of training. Because he shot the guy that was standing there waiting for the assailant. And then the assailant goes, "Oh my God, that was a gunshot." And you see him like back up a little bit. And the guy being attacked smokes that guy, grabs his shoes, stands up, and calmly walks out. And as he's calmly walking out, he shoots the first guy in the head that was like trying to crawl away after having been shot.
He
like,
probably
walks
not
by
gonna
and
get away with that.
Yeah,
I would argue that I didn't know whether or not he had a gun. I was taking a precaution. Still self-defense.
Yeah, it's argument. Unfortunately, we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yep. Depending on what city or state he was in, they're probably going to go after him for that second shot as he was walking out.
Did you see that one, Jimmy?
I did see that.
That was so good. That was funny as hell. The first guy was just like, "Oh my God, I've been shot." And then the second guy is like, he just got smoked. Hey, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So speaking of being injected with objects, COVID-19 mRNA vaccines increase the risk of asthma. I am looking at the wrong screen. There's the one that I want. Zeneca pulls vaccines globally after evidence links injections to sudden deaths. This is May 8th of last year.
Now, remember when they were trying to tell you that people really weren't dropping dead?
Yeah.
They tried to blame it on marijuana and all this other shit.
Yep.
I mean, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah. These things were done quietly. Nobody reported on any of this stuff. I actually went back and looked, and this is true. Zeneca pulled its damn vaxes because of excess deaths. That right there is like, hey, all of those immunities that Congress gave you because it was an emergency.
But remember when you and I were young, very rarely would you actually have a player in high school or college die on the field, just drop dead.
I never heard of it.
It almost never happened.
And then if it did happen
all the time,
if it did happen, it was a fluke neck break, like in a football game,
or a congenital heart defect that they didn't detect.
Yeah,
but it started happening. There's whole 30-minute videos on YouTube where they just show one after the other, somebody dropping dead or fainting on stage or on the field. All of these guys are supposed to be in the prime physical condition of their lives.
Yep. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. There was the fighter pilot who was landing on a deck and had a heart attack, and they caught his chatter as he was landing. And he said something to the effect of "fucking jab," something like that.
Yep.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.